Hey y'all, welcome to the Chalant podcast, where we are raw, unfiltered, unhinged, and never nonchalant. If you have questions about anything we talk about, slide in the DMs at the Chalant podcast on Instagram and TikTok, or subscribe at patreon.com/the Chalant podcast. Now to the episode. Hello, Chalant podcast holiday edition at your service. Number one, happy holidays. And if you don't feel happy at the holidays, or if holidays are really tough for you, I see you, and I've been there, and I love you. It's not the best time for everybody. And I feel like there are two things that come up during the holidays. F-bombs. Food, family. Two things that we can have very, very complicated relationships with. I have had both. A complicated relationship with food, a complicated relationship with my family. You know, everyone's doing their best, not shit-talking anybody. But that being said, family can be really tough. So just wanted to give you some thoughts, some support, some love, maybe some tools to just kind of talk through this holiday time. Number one, food. Food, Christmas, New Year's, whatever else you celebrate. But specifically just around this time of New Year's, I feel like we're all so used to being like, I'm going to be better next year. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and after, on January 1st, I'm going to be different. And it's when we get inspired to make change. It's when we get inspired to do different things. And I just want to touch on the relationship to food because for me, it has been so complicated and it doesn't feel that way anymore. So there is hope. Number one. There is hope for you. Let me be the example. You can do it. It can change. I felt like, listen, I was anorexic for most of my life, dieted like a motherfucker, worked out for 2 hours a day, would eat one cookie and then make myself get on the treadmill for an hour. I've been there. I've done all those things. And the place that I came to is for what? Like for whom? Who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for me because it makes me feel good? Or am I doing this for society's standards of what I need to look like? Am I doing this so a certain boy can see me naked and I won't hate myself? Like, what's it for? You know what I mean? Like, why? I put on lip gloss and I feel like it looks like I'm frothing at the mouth because it's reflecting the light. So just to let you know, I am not frothing at the mouth. It's distracting me. Anyway, who's it for, y'all? That is the question that I want you to ask yourself. And actually, on both sides of the coin, when you eat 17 cookies instead of one, or when you don't allow yourself anything that brings you joy. We want to hit that middle ground. Again, easier said than done. I know. But what's been the most instrumental thing for me in that space has been stopping and checking in with, where is this coming from, right? When I think about, it's so funny because for me, dieting and being thin, etc., was always for men. It was always so that I could be loved, right? But now when I say that out loud, I'm like, I'm not going to eat this cookie so that like some man gives me validation. Ew. Have you seen men? Listen, some of you are great and we love you. But in general, the ones that I was falling for, the ones that I was trying to be perfect for, are you joking? I'm not going to enjoy my time with my family and enjoy these beautiful treats that somebody baked in their own kitchen with love for me because I'm worried that a man might not like me. Get fucking real, you guys. No. We're not doing that anymore. That's going out with the old. Out with the old, in with the new. What is the new? Listening to our bodies, right? It's also not great to eat 17 cookies or whatever. But at the end of the day, the sugar's not going to kill you. Eating 17 cookies is not going to kill you. What really gets to you is the way you feel about yourself when you do it. That's the key. Am I going to feel good about myself after this? Am I just reaching for this cookie for something to do? Am I reaching for this cookie because my mom's driving me fucking crazy and this cookie is going to make me feel better? Like, I don't know, whatever it is for you, but just check in with why. Am I reaching for this cookie because it looks really fucking yummy and I'm having a good day with my family and I want to try it? Great, eat the cookie. And don't have shame about it. Don't let it come back to make you spiral 30 seconds later or when you're going to sleep that night. Eat the cookie, enjoy the cookie, and let it the fuck go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the way that we beat ourselves up about it or the place that we're doing it from that really makes a difference in our lives. You know, I used to feel like if I ate one bite of pasta, I would be fat. Do you know how much my body changed if I ate a bowl of pasta? None. Not at all. Not even a little bit. If I went back to eating healthier, I mean, it's not that pasta's not healthy, but if I went back to eating more in line with my goals after that, it's fine. But the amount of panic I felt at being anywhere near a kitchen during the holidays, that's the part that makes me not fine, y'all. I'm going to say it again. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself where this is coming from. And if you do, God forbid, eat 17 cookies and then you are kicking the shit out of yourself later in the day, check in with that and go, whose voice is this? How old does this voice sound? Is it my voice? Is it somebody else's voice? And then be with it. Give yourself what you need. We go crazy enough at the holidays. We don't need extra voices telling us that we're fucking it all up. You know, I'm really like just here to encourage you to love yourself. It doesn't matter if you quote unquote won the day. Right? I give myself things every day that I'm like, oh, I want to do these 4 things. If I only get one of them done, am I going to kick the shit out of myself at the end of the day? No. Am I going to check in and go, okay, so where did I leak my energy and what's in the way? Am I procrastinating the other things? Am I just going on my phone too much? Like, where's that all coming from? Because that's the place where you can create real change. And even if you're not trying to change, like that's just the place that you deserve. You don't deserve to be kicking the shit out of yourself at the end of the day for eating cookies. Life is just not that serious, you know? The cookies are not that serious. The extra 5 pounds you have in your body, not that serious. It's just not. And I know it's so fucking cliche and I hate that I'm about to say it, but it's like really truly, if the person you're trying to be loved by only loves you because you look a certain way, like we have other things to talk about, y'all. We got to talk about your intimacy levels because it's never going to be fulfilling for you. That's never going to be satisfying to you. So this is my encouragement. This is my little love note just to say, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. Check in. Hey, how am I feeling today? You know what? I ate 17 cookies yesterday. So I think I'm going to skip the sweets today. And I'm okay to set boundaries around that. And if somebody wants to cross them, fuck them. That's their problem, not mine, right? It's just about coming back and being gentle. And if there's something you'd like to course correct, okay, course correct it. But do it with love. And please, for the love of God, do things that bring you joy. Cookies don't always bring me joy. But pumpkin pie always brings me joy. You know what I mean? So if I'm in the kitchen and I have a choice, I'm going to eat the pumpkin pie and I'm not going to feel bad about it because it gives me warm, fuzzy feelings in my body and I'm sharing it with my mom and it's something she makes and I love that. How could I ever feel bad about that? How could I feel like that wasn't a good thing for me? You know what I mean? It's like we strip ourselves of so much freedom. We strip ourselves of so much enjoyment in our lives because we're constantly striving to be a certain way. Let that go. This is my encouragement to you, to let that go and enjoy yourself. I don't know what that looks like. Some people enjoy running fucking marathons. Some people enjoy doing the turkey trot. I don't know. But my encouragement is to check in with yourself and go, okay, what does bring me joy? And if there's something that brings you joy that you feel like you're not allowed to do, check in with that and go, whose voice is that? Who told me I can't do it? What am I afraid of? What am I afraid is going to happen if I do it? That's going to get you to the point of fulfillment and the point of being able to enjoy yourself in a way that you don't end up beating yourself up for later. Okay. F-bomb number 2, family. Oh, this is such a big topic. It is such a big topic. And I know everyone's family is different and everyone has different stuff going on. And some people don't have family. Some people can't be with their family. It is such a huge topic, and there is absolutely no way I am going to end up doing it justice in the next 20 minutes. So please have grace. And I'm trusting that whatever I share today is going to land in the right hands and the right people are going to hear what they need to hear. So if I didn't cover your situation, I am sorry. And if it feels like I'm not trying to disregard any situation. I am basically, I didn't really plan what I was going to say today at all. And so I'm kind of just letting it flow and trusting that what needs to come out is going to come out. So, again, if you have a really tough family situation around this time, I see you. And if you have questions or you want help working through it, you just reach on out and I promise I will help you cover it. That being said, I wanted to just kind of talk about the generalness of family, a couple little tidbits that I've picked up along the way. And there are these two things. The first one is, I had a therapist say this to me once. She said, Alethea, you have to stop hoping it will be different than it is. Only then can you accept it. And it was I was going home. It wasn't even the holidays at this time, I don't think. But I was in the habit of going home and trying to fix everything and trying to be who I needed to be in order for things to be different, though it had been the same every year for years, for my whole life. But I was so busy wishing that it wasn't like that it re-broke my heart every time. We all have relationships that are tough or somewhere we don't feel seen or, we all have things that we hope or wish were different. And she said, you are going to drive yourself crazy hoping because then every time you'll be let down again. What if you just approach it knowing and then let it unfold from there? Work from there. So that is my little gem number one. When we set our expectations, they can be changed. If I show up and it is different, that's so exciting. But if I show up and it's the same, I'm not disappointed. If I haven't seen changes in people, I can't expect to go there and have it be different, if that makes sense. So that's my nugget number one. Number two, I think most helpful thing to remember is that other people's words are always about themselves. Whatever they're doing is about them. It is not about you. So when your parent says that thing where they, I don't know, maybe they criticize you about something, you get to stop and take a breath, responding over reacting. We create the space when we stop and take a breath. I think kind of one of the biggest things to work on in a healing journey is to create the space to be able to respond rather than react, right? We all know what reacting is. It happens before we can even think about it. Generally doesn't make anything better. But when we build the resilience to be able to take a step back and choose how to respond, that's when we're fully empowered. That's when we're fully in choice. And so, say, I don't know, your parent criticizes you. You have one of two choices. You can just react, probably create a fight or whatever, or you can take a step back. Remember, what they just said is about them and their expectations. Do I think it's true? You're only going to be reactive if there's a piece of you that thinks it's true, right? We only have big responses to things that we're afraid are true. So again, that's when you go do your work. That's when you go meditate. That's when you go spend time with yourself and get curious and go, okay, what part of me is afraid that this is true? Or what part of me is still really hurt about this thing? And that's your job to go and heal. I've had a couple conversations this week about becoming the adult in a situation where, when you're working with your parents, you get to a point where You have to be the adult. And they're also adults, but they're just people, right? You're no longer a child. You no longer get to blame them for everything. And they can't change the past. They can't. There's nothing they can do to heal you from the past. It's a really, really big thing to take in. It doesn't matter if they show up as the perfect parent for the rest of your life. What happened in the past still lives in your body. That's yours to take home and figure out. I've come up against this in a big way. I have a completely different relationship with one of my parents, well, both my parents than I used to, but one that I'm thinking of right now that I had a lot of distance for a long time. And in the last 5-6 years, it's been great. It's been perfect. That being said, my body still didn't trust it, right? Every time we said, I love you, there was this little piece of me that was like, don't forget what used to happen. That's mine to go heal. There is nothing they can do to take that response out of your body. That's yours. And it might be because of them. It might be because of that dynamic. So go, do your meditation, do your inner child work, scream, hit things, say all the things you never got to say, have all the responses you never got to have. Do whatever you need to do to heal that in your own body. But when you go into the situation from that adult place and you can see them for who they are, everybody, right? We all revert back to being like 12, 13 when we're with our families. But whether it's parents, siblings, grandparents, can you take a step back for a second and just realize that they're a human? They are a human being. And yes, if they're your parents, they birthed you. So they do have a responsibility to raise you and be good to you. But they can only do that to the best of their ability. They are also a victim of their circumstances. And it's not about glossing over your experience. It's not about gaslighting yourself out of your experience. It's about being able to take a step back and go, okay, but what's happening right now? Am I in danger? Did they just say something that's going to change my whole world? Like, no. What they said pissed me off. Okay, well then do I need to say something? Do I need to say, hey, that upset me? And take responsibility for my own communication, take responsibility for how I'm showing up in the situation. I know this is so not what so many people want to hear. It's definitely the more difficult way of doing things. And believe me, it's not what I wanted to hear for a very long time. I was like, everything is everyone else's fault. They need to be good to me. They need to make up for what they did. But they physically can't. That's been such a game changer. That I've noted, that I've learned, there's nothing anybody else can do to change your physiology. You are the only person who can choose to forgive. You're the only person who can choose to let it go and start from where you are right now, right? We are all reactive. We all think things are happening that aren't happening all the time. We all live in our own realities, right? So it's like if I think someone's being super rude to me or super standoffish, there's a good chance I'm creating that narrative in my head and they didn't mean it that way at all, right? I recently had a situation where one of my friends dropped a conversation into our group chat and all of us read it completely differently. We all had our own feelings about the messages that got sent through. And it's like at the end of the day, so it's clear, like the matter is none of us actually know what went on. None of us actually know how that person felt when they sent the text. None of us actually know what their intention was. All we know is how we respond to it. So I think that is, even if it's just a practice for right now, even if you don't succeed at it ever over this holiday season, it doesn't matter. It's the practice, right? It's the concept of being able to go in and go, okay, I know this is going to be a little stressful for me. Can I give myself the time and space that I need to use the tools that I need in order to be in the best headspace I can be in, right? How am I going to set myself up the best? And sometimes that's scary. Sometimes that means setting boundaries. Sometimes that means asking for what you need. It always means asking for what you need, right? If it's like, hey, actually, I need to stay somewhere else. I'm not staying in your house. Or I want to have dinner by myself, whatever it is. You can only be responsible to yourself. That's the only thing that you can control. So if I'm getting to a place where I'm feeling really squeezed and like this has all been too much, and then somebody says something that sets me off, and I think it's all their fault because they said the thing that pissed me off, it might be true. It might be true that they said something shitty, but I get to take care of myself in a way. It's not about never, I like can hear myself or I can hear questions as I'm saying this, that, especially for me in the past, it would have been like a perfectionist thing where I was like, I will never go off. I will never be the person who loses my shit. And I would like nearly kill myself to be the person who never lost her shit. Because then I could say, well, I never lost my shit, so you guys all suck because you have and I haven't, so I'm perfect and you have nothing to be mad at me about. Not true. We can be mad about all kinds of shit. Again, it comes back to, am I proud of myself at the end of the day? If somebody says something shitty and I lose it because I haven't taken care of myself, that is on me. There's a way for me to say, you know what you said is really shitty and that really hurt my feelings and I'm going to go. Or there's fuck you, I fucking hate you, these are all the things that are wrong with you, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes one is needed and sometimes the other is kind of necessary. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm not saying that there's like necessarily a right and wrong way to do it. What I'm saying is, how do you want to do it? There was a situation I was in recently where, I'm really proud of myself lately that I've been standing up for myself a lot more, and it's been really like second nature. Like I don't even have to think about it anymore. If somebody's being a dick to me, I immediately just dish it back and I'm like, fuck you, stop. Instead of like going into fight or flight and panicking and shrinking. So I'm really proud of myself for that. And the other day I was in a scenario where somebody was kind of coming at me and I had said stop and then they came at me again. And I said to a friend, like, I'm in a space right now where like, if they say one more thing to me, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to. And there's a part of me that would have been proud of myself for absolutely losing it. Because so be it. Like that's where my body was and I allowed myself to be free in that. There's actually huge benefit in that. Would I feel the same way if the person that I had gone off on was my mom? No. Because that's a relationship that I really want to cherish. That's a relationship that I want to take a lot of care in. And so I never want to get to the point with her where I'm completely losing my shit. I would prefer to set myself up well so that whatever we need to work through, we're going to work through. And we're going to be closer at the end. This person that I was going to lose my shit on the other day, I don't really care if we're close. I have to be in their vicinity at certain times of the day, is what it is. So it depends. I'm not saying that it's one size fits all. I'm not saying that there's a right or a wrong way to have any of these situations. All I'm saying is, can you set yourself up in a way where you've created the space between reaction and responding? Because then you're in choice. Then you get to choose how you respond to them, right? And you have your tools where when, so-and-so says that thing that they always say and you have a huge complex about it, you have your tools set up to go self-soothe. You have your tools set up to go get back into a regulated and positive state. And again, like it's in a selfish way almost. I'm not saying it in a way where like you need to be in a positive state for everyone else. But I'll tell you right now, I prefer to be in a good state where I'm happy. I love that. I don't like being in a state where I'm anxious. I don't like being in a state where I am angry. That's been a big thing that's really shifted for me lately and I was out the other night and some random walked up to me in a bar and said some really inappropriate shit. And I felt super violated. I felt super upset by it. But whatever, I dealt with it in the moment. And then I went back to talking to my friend, and the person or the people that he was with had come over later, or I was leaving, and she walked up and said, "Hey, can I ask what he said?" And she got in this whole conversation with my friend about it. And I felt myself be like, no, because I don't want to sit in this. Like, I'm not going to rehash it with you. I don't want to like talk about how fucked up it was. Like, I've moved on and I'm back in a state where like I'm feeling fabulous And I don't want to, when you talk about something, you put yourself back in that memory. Your body doesn't know the difference. So if I'm telling this girl all about what he said to me and how I felt, I'm going to go straight back to feeling really violated and gross. I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit there. I have no desire to sit in that place. So it's like, it's the same kind of concept with being at home with your family. It's like, I want to be at my best for me. I want to be at my best because I enjoy being in joy. I enjoy enjoying myself. So if I have the opportunity to do that, I'm going to do that. So if somebody upsets me or if I get upset by something that happened, I'm going to go and do what I need to do to get back to my regulated and happy state. Those moments when big triggers come up, now when I get triggered by my family, it's a lot easier for me to take a breath and go, wait, let me look at all the ways that I'm being loved right now. Let me zoom out and know that they're not trying to hurt me. They're not trying to fuck me up. No one in my family is actively doing that. Sometimes they don't know that they're doing it, and sometimes it's unbelievable to me that they don't know that they're doing it because it's so clear to me that this is a hurtful behavior. But we all have blind spots. We all have shit, and you get to have all your feelings, Some people really are hurtful and do want to be hurtful because they're feeling hurt themselves. But then you deal with that in the moment in a way where if you can set a clear boundary and say, don't do that, or this is how that made me feel, stop. If you don't stop, I'm going to go. You get to deal with your boundaries. You get to deal with your state of mind, your body state, your physiological state, your somatic state. That's yours. And if you prioritize that being a positive, happy state, it's more likely to be, and you're more likely to be able to deal with the shit that is coming at you, if there is shit coming at you. The second that we get into victimhood, I love that I just, saw a clip of Taylor Swift on Stephen Colbert. And she talked about, because he said something about, at your level, there aren't that many people. So is there anyone that you look up to or anyone that you go to for advice? And she was like, I really try not to do the whole oh yeah, no one knows what I'm going through thing. She's like, I get sick of myself. I'm annoyed with myself when I do it. And it's yeah, because it's not fun for you to be in that place. I know it feels good in the moment. And listen, I have spent so much time blaming other people for all of my problems. Really just this year, I've learned how to not do that. I'm about to be 35. There is grace. There is love for you. I am not being judgmental in any way. But it can feel good in the moment to blame everybody else, but it keeps you in that cycle of staying mad. It keeps you in that cycle of blame. And as long as you're telling yourself there's someone to blame, you're telling yourself that there's something to be upset about. Right? Again, recently I was in a situation where I got in a fight with somebody, and this has clearly been coming out a lot lately. But I got in a fight with somebody and I stood up for myself in the moment, was like, don't talk to me like that, blah, blah, blah. We ended up working it out. They apologized. And I caught myself an hour later, just kind of moping around and being mad and stewing in my head. And I went, wait, I said everything I needed to say. There's nothing else to do. They apologized. I'm okay. They're okay. The only person that's continuing to be hurt by this is me. If I just stay mad all night, why would I want to be in that state? I don't. I can let it go, But that being said, it's only because I worked through it that I can let it go. I'm not saying shove your feelings down and just be happy all the time. I'm saying it occurred to me that I went, I said everything I needed to say in the moment. It's not like I didn't stand up for myself. There's no healing that needs to happen from this situation because I did everything I needed to do. And I got the apology. The repair happened. There's nothing else for me to worry about, right? It's different if you're in a scenario and say, I didn't stand up for myself and there were all these things that I wanted to say that I didn't. Yeah, I might go home and spend some time with my inner child and give her the space to say all the things that she didn't get to say and maybe heal that little piece so that next time I deal with it differently. But as long as you're working through your stuff, as long as you're letting it flow, you can let it go and choose to be in that positive space. And that'll have an impact on your home. That'll have an impact on everybody else in the house, right? We take on each other's energy all day, every day. If you can bring a really clear, regulated, I don't even want to say positive because it's not about that. You don't always have to be positive. It's, are you clear? Are you regulated? Are you calm? That will do wonders for you and everybody else. But really, the only person you can worry about is you. That's it. And also have somebody on speed dial that you can call and scream to instead of screaming at whomever it is in your house on Christmas morning. Because that's also very helpful. It's super helpful to get the feelings out, get it all out, and then you'll see clearly all the rest of what's going on. That's my rant for the day. As always, give me a little text, give me a little DM, whatever you want. If you have questions, if you have comments, if this was helpful, please let me know. And I just hope that everybody has the most incredible holiday time. Be safe and have the fucking best time you can. Because life is too goddamn short to not be at least trying to have a good time. My life changed drastically when I realized that I could spend energy trying to be mad, or I could spend energy trying to be angry or sad or whatever it is, or I could spend energy trying to be good. That's actually a huge tool, but we'll talk more about that next time. Mwah. Bye.